Let me ask you another question. The draft business plan says very definitively that no public subsidies will be required. But the draft business plan also states that the original operating contract may not completely transfer the ridership revenue risk to the operator. How will this first contract be paid for if not with public subsidies? So I would like to ask Mr. Richard that question.
Madam Chair, you caught me up short on that one. I need to go back and take a look at...
Do you know the page of that, son?
Yeah. We'll look for it.
We may need to respond to that in writing.
I think it actually says it at several different...
service. Then we were talking about operating costs and how this is supposed to be the users are supposed to pay for the system. That's what was in Prop 1A. And so how will the initial operating costs be covered, and why isn't it considered an operating subsidy? Because on day one, will there be adequate revenue to cover operating costs? And either one of you can answer that.
Thank you for that. That was what Mr. Rossi was looking up, right?
Well, I was trying to understand what the question was, and I apologize. I assume that what we're looking at here is...
We're going to have initial operating costs? Right.
Right. The way the plan is built, and we will...
Got to get used to that microphone.
Okay. Is that better? Okay.
Yes.
If the way the plan is built is that for the first three, and we'll answer this in writing to get the numbers exactly right, but in the first 3 years, in 2022, 2023, for iOS South, which is what this is talking about, we make an operating profit, but we don't sell or, in effect, have a concession where we sell the future revenues until the 3rd year, because the private sector is only going to invest once they have stabilized revenues. And if they want to invest before that, the discount's going to be so large we're not going to want to sell. So we have built into the plan the ability to operate the high-speed rail segment for those years and still have an operating profit.
Then how do you pay for the first 2 years?
Well, because it's a cash flow issue. What will happen is, as the tickets come in, we will have a sufficient amount of revenue to pay our operating expenses. Now, we may have to get a line of credit. That's not unusual, but that's all built into the operation. The operation, maintenance, and capital refresher costs, expenses.
Ms.